Weird Nation, and welcome back to another Simmer Saturday here on the Feed the Weird channel. If you're new here, Simmer Saturdays is basically where I build houses in the Sims 4 on Saturday. That's it. That's the title. But basically, all of the houses that I build on Simmer Saturday are usually viewer requested, forum requested, or houses that I find interesting on Pinterest. So if you would like for me to build a house that you really want in the game and don't know how, definitely follow me on Twitter at feedtheweird and send me the house, maybe it's a floor plan, a picture, whatever, inspiration to me, and make sure you tag my username, again, feedtheweird, and use the hashtag weirdlingsins, okay? But today we are actually going to be building something that I really wanted to build. It wasn't viewer requested, but it's definitely taken the Sims 4 community by storm in a way. I feel like a lot of people are really interested in this thing called Paralives. Like, I feel like everyone right now is kind of waiting for this to be released. It's been talked about, like all of the rumors surrounding it, what's going to be included. Oh my god, we can do curved rooms, and we have pets already. That's in quote unquote base game or the game itself. So I thought I would build the kind of standout video that happened last week where everybody was shitting their pants, and it was Maggie's Loft. And just for kicks and giggles, build it in the Sims 4 and make it a house, because in the video you only really see the inside of the house, you don't see the exterior. So I wanted to kind of make a whole house out of it. I only put it on a 20 by 20 lot because I knew it wasn't going to be massive, and basically replicate what the Paralives was showing in that video. Now I did try to use as much base game as possible, but in trying to make sure it looked enough like the inspiration, I had to dip into some other expansion packs. I did not use any game or stuff packs, so hopefully you do have those expansion packs in there. Most notably, I used Get to Work because the railing was similar to the one that was in Paralives. We don't have that in the Sims 4. And I used some pillows, I believe from Parenthood, and what else? I think I used something from Seasons and something else, but I can point those things out once we get to kind of the decoration of the house. Right now we're kind of just making a layout for the house, and it's a really small house, but I feel like it's pretty spacious. It's actually, I don't want to say 2 bedrooms because a loft is kind of just a loft space. It's not really a bedroom, so I would say it's 1 bedroom 2 bath with a loft. That's what I would say. And it did come just under, I believe, 100,000 simoleons, so it's relatively on the cheap side, especially given the house that I built last week, which was around close to 1 million simoleons, probably like 600 at this point. So I'm getting back to my roots where I kind of build a little bit more of a smaller size house, a little bit less expensive house, and something that's kind of roomy and cozy for your Sims to be in. So I'm not gonna lie, making the exterior of this house to kind of match the loft that was shown in Maggie's Loft was a little bit tricky, but I think I got the hang of it, or kind of the gist of what it looked like. And as you can see, I'm using these stairs or the railings from Get to Work, because in Maggie's Loft it kind of did look a little bit more on the industrial side. If I had went with any of the fencings that we had in the base game, it just wouldn't have matched. At least for me, it wouldn't aesthetically match, because most of the fences in base game is kind of on the picket fence side and less on the modern side. So the only other modern one we have, I believe, is a clear glass, but it wasn't a clear glass in Maggie's Loft, so I had to use that. I also, most of the windows, well actually all of the windows are base game, so you don't have to worry about that. But I really wanted to recreate the lighting that was in Maggie's Loft, and if you go into the video or some pictures of it, it kind of looked like it was an attic room. And in the Sims 4, we don't have attic rooms. I tried to recreate it off lot to see if I could kind of push it onto this one, and it just didn't look right because with the roof, especially with the Sims 4, it has, how can I put it? The roof situation looks, you have to have a room inside of a roof in order for it to kind of be an attic room, and then you have to turn the roof sliding into glass, and then you have to put all glass windows, but it just didn't look right. So I ended up just putting a separate tile roof that had kind of the glass panes on one side so it could give this effect that you're seeing right now where the light is just shining in. And I'm going to eventually change those windows because they weren't bringing enough light for me either. So yeah, we couldn't, or at least I couldn't do an attic room. I'm pretty sure that you probably can find another tutorial from another builder where they probably perfected the art of attic rooms. Unfortunately, I have not. But yeah, as you can see, I'm also using a little bit more of the Get to Work pack because I'm noticing now with the builds that I make, I usually just go ham. I go through all of the packs, I go through all the clutter items. I don't really care what packs I use, and I kind of just use them. But after building Chateau Artisan, which I'll link above for you to watch that next, I kind of just used the packs that I already had. So I knew that I would have to use Good to Work for the railing, so I went ahead and used some other, like these posters. I used the wardrobe, and I also used kind of like those clutter boxes from Get to Work because I knew I had to use it. So if I know that I have to use a certain pack, I'll use it throughout the rest of the build so I can just have a little bit more wiggle room when it comes to decor, you know? So yeah. But for the majority, most of it is base game, so you should be able to download it no problem. You will just have to change the railing and some of the other kind of nicks and crannies of it. So the loft itself wasn't really hard to build, surprisingly, but not surprisingly because it wasn't too much. Definitely missing the telescope that's in Maggie's loft because unfortunately we don't have small telescopes. We only have the really big one outside, and I wasn't gonna size that down. It would have looked stupid in order to put that there, and it would have been totally useless. So in the end, I did add on a guitar that you're not gonna see in this build because, how can I put it? I'm always thinking that my builds aren't good enough after I record them, so I kind of go back and add in some more decor items, and this was one of those builds. So instead of having a telescope there, I have a guitar there, so at least it's kind of a skill building situation, you know? But something else that was really remarkable about this house was the bookcase, or kind of like the wall of books that they had running up the stairs. And we in the game have quite a few bookcases, but not enough of them where it would look really good stackable and also really good as a base game item. But I ended up going with these books here, which I don't know if they're base game or not. They're not. They're from Get to Work. So again, we're using another Get to Work item, and they looked really good stacked. So I was really happy about that, and it also left me some kind of hidden areas that I could put some more decor items that closely resemble what was already present in Maggie's loft. And I kind of tiered them to give them the effect that is kind of different and separate. But I don't know. It looks good to me, but it's not going to look exactly like it does in Maggie's loft, of course, because we just don't have that in The Sims 4. But I tried to make sure that I did enough of the kind of nooks and crannies and little decors and pops of green that was already present in there. And for some reason, when I was building and trying to put in more kind of clutter or just decorating in general, some things started to delete. And I think because they weren't properly placed or they weren't on kind of the snap feature or the snap to grid. So just be mindful of that when you're having this in your house and you go into build mode if you're living here, that sometimes if you move some things around, particularly those books and that potted plant right there, they clip out or they'll go straight into your inventory. So it's not like they get deleted, they'll just be in your inventory and you just have to pop them on there. As always with all of my builds, make sure that you have BB move objects cheat on, because everything in this house is literally dictated by that cheat. Like, you will not get away with having it in your game if you do not have that on when you download it. You just won't. Another thing about this build is that they had, or at least Maggie's Loft had, these beautiful hanging plants, which we really don't have in The Sims as well. So I ended up having to use another pack, and I believe this is from Jungle Adventure. So it is a game pack, but it's not something that you super need in your build. It's not an essential item. If it gets deleted, it gets deleted and you can just move on. But I did want to at least include one kind of cascading plant just to make it look a little bit like it's supposed to look, or how it's supposed to look in comparison to the inspiration build. So I did get rid of these two really large ones because they were kind of, how can I put it, they were obstructing the view of the downstairs, like of the kitchen, and I just didn't like also this black kind of underlay, because when you size them down you see this kind of black underlay or kind of shadow in behind it, and that's just not attractive. You can kind of see it right here, and I was just like, I don't think I want this. It's not gonna look that good in screenshots. So there was that. Another thing I kind of struggled with was which oh god it's late and I need to drink some water, but I was struggling with what cabinets to use, and we don't have a lot of cabinets that have a white board with a black kind of tile. The only ones we had was actually the most expensive cabinets, and they're not even all the way black. They're kind of like on the teal grayish side, which was kind of annoying, but I didn't want to use any other packs or anything like that, so I left them there. In the end, they did turn out nice, but I just wish we had a little bit more options when it came to countertops. Like, I feel like we have a few, but it's not enough to the point where we can really get funky with it. You know what I'm saying? I really want some more countertops at this point. But yeah, I also had to use the bike from Discover University because it was a bike there, so that's another pack. And as you can see, I had to put some stuff from Cats and Dogs because in the trailer Maggie supposedly has pets, so I had to use some stuff from Cats and Dogs as well. I was going to use this globe from Glamour. Was it Vintage Glamour, where it's kind of like another bar, but I ended up deleting it because we had a base game globe that I just sized up, which you'll see eventually as well. So that's another pack we kind of slash. So the remaining theme of most of my build, I think moving forward, I'll try to use maybe 1 to 2 packs in the build, and that's it. Because I know it's kind of a struggle, or a lot of people don't find interest in having all of the packs, and I don't want to see here I changed out the globe, but I don't want to make it seem as though all of my builds you can't have because you don't have all the packs. So I'm really going to try a little bit harder to make sure that most of the builds that I do have is very limited to maybe 1 to 5 packs, and hopefully they're expansion packs, because I feel like most people buy more of the expansion packs than they do of like game and stuff packs. I feel like especially stuff packs are just more for people who are just want to have every pack, but expansion packs, you get so much in it and so much value that I feel like more people are gonna buy it. In the original loft there wasn't a dining area, but I put one in there anyway because the space felt empty, so I put that there. And then we are going to recreate the yellow sectional that was also there as well. I ended up having to use this kind of wood plaque, how can I put it? Yeah, wood plaque coffee table, because that's kind of what it looked like in the Paralives trailer as well, and that was from Seasons. So we have Get to Work, Seasons, Cats and Dogs as far as expansion packs, and then we have I believe we only have Jungle Adventure when it comes to game packs, but I believe that's all the packs. Everything else is base game. But as you can see, I changed the windows again upstairs because it just brought in more light and it just looked even more prettier to me. And now we're just literally just doing the final touches. Oh, there's those pillows, and I think they're from Parenthood, so 2 game packs. Again, not necessary. You do not need to have them in your game, but again, we're going for more of a inspiration build, and Maggie had pillows on her staircase, so we're gonna have pillows on our staircase. I also added these drapes because they just looked really nice, and I switched out the carpets because hers had more of a tapestry feel, so hopefully you guys enjoy that as well. And I also changed out the bed because I noticed that I could use a bed from another pack that we already used somewhere else. So I used that bed from Seasons. That kind of looked like it, but we don't have a lot of beds with pillows, I noticed. They've gotten better. The Sims team has definitely gotten better with more how can I put it, realistic decor items, like with the sofas and the beds. They're adding a little bit more tapestries and pillows and texture, so I'm really excited about that. But if you stick to kind of the base game stuff, you don't see as many variations of pillows and textures and all that other things. But we're moving down to, or kind of even the last part of this build is the downstairs back area where that mystery door leads to. So I thought I would put in another bathroom as well as another bedroom because, hey, maybe you have a Sims family, the parents can stay upstairs and then the kid can stay downstairs, which would be really cool. Like, you have this whole entire space to yourself as a kid, but it's just a very small bedroom. I think you can put in a double bed. You should be able to, but you wouldn't be able to fit any of the regular size, they're not coffee tables, side tables. You probably could use the crate that comes with it, but that's it. But I thought I would just put a single bed in there because I wasn't trying. And I'm sorry, that's going really, really fast. That's kind of what I do. I kind of look throughout the whole build and be like, oh, okay, what else needs here? But I was noticing that my roof was clipping kind of weirdly, so I wanted to add something else to it. But for the most part, we're almost done with this build. So let me ask you guys, what do you think about Paralives? And do you think that it's going to change the way The Sims is going to continue? Do you think that you would download Paralives? Are you generally excited about it? My thoughts are kind of all over the place. Like, I'm always really big on making sure that there's competition for companies. Like, there shouldn't just be one streaming service. There shouldn't just be one Sims kind of or life simulation game. So I'm really excited for The Sims to finally get some competition because they haven't had any. And I feel like if they had some competition, they would put a little bit more effort into what they give us. Not that they don't put in effort now. I do think that they put in an effort now, but I don't think it's the way in which we thought it would be, if that makes sense. There's still room for improvement, and I think if you gave them a little bit of competition, most of the content that they would give us would always try to not even one up the competition, but just to make things a little bit more even, a little bit more concise, and, you know, competitive. So I'm really excited for that aspect of Paralives. I really do want the Sims team to have something where it can be like, oh wow, they're doing this, okay, well, how can we improve our game? What are our, I guess, audience talking about, or what are they looking for, or how does this game impress them, and why isn't our game impressing them anymore? That's what competition does. It's not necessarily to take one other company out of the market. It's just to make sure that it's being fair, it's being creative, it's being innovative, and things like that. And I'm not saying that The Sims isn't creative or innovative, because we have had some really good things. But again, there's always room for improvement, especially with gameplay right now. A lot of simmers are really, now that we have university and cats and dogs and seasons, I think everybody is very focused on cars. And I'm gonna say something a little bit controversial. I don't really want cars. I don't see the point of them. I really don't, even though in this build I'm gonna put a car on a carport, but I'm not really looking forward to like leaving my sim house and my sim getting into the car and then there's a loading screen, kind of like we already do with the travel thing. Unless they create a whole open world for just cars specifically, I'm not really pressed or anything like that. I'm not interested in any of that. So hopefully instead of cars, they really do focus on the gameplay of The Sims instead of just items, because we have a lot of items and we have a lot of beautiful worlds. Solani, amazing, beautiful, love spending time there, but unfortunately it's really nothing to do outside of looking at a sunset and maybe turning your sim into a mermaid. I just want more gameplay. It would have been fantastic to have resorts, and I know they already addressed this where they can only put so much in the packs, but even if you put so much in the packs, I think having another vacation world, or even it's not a vacation world, it's an actual lived-in world, but having that aspect to own a property or have resorts without using a mod. Thank God for Kawaii Stacy, but I don't know. I just want more gameplay in The Sims, and maybe competition is the answer, you know? Maybe we can make The Sims kind of not regret, I don't even know the word to say, but kind of get them off their asses and work a little bit harder to keep us interested, because just by the amount of interest alone in Paralives, where we don't even have any playable demos, and whoever, I'm not going to say he or she, the team that's working at Paralives right now has only showed us kind of like a rounded room. They showed us kind of like already a dine out feature. They showed us that we can have a color wheel that changes different aspects of hair. They've shown us lighting in the game. We haven't seen the actual player characters yet, but I feel like there's so much potential, and because there's so much interest with Paralives, it could create a new gaming world for life simulation. So I'm really excited to kind of find out where that goes. But as you can see, we're going to screenshots right now, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this build. Like I said, if you want me to build a house of your own, make sure you follow me on Twitter at feedtheweird and send me some inspo. I don't even know what I'm saying, but send me some inspo tagging my username and also tagging or hashtagging weirdling sims. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and make sure you hit that notification bell to stay up to date with more Simmer Saturdays that I'm going to be posting in the future. Alrighty, until next time, keep feeding your weird. Bye!